What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Office Nerd Show. Today we're looking at the Hasbro Power Rangers Lightning Collection Wave 13 figures. So we have another wave of 4 figures, starting off with our Dino Charge Blue Ranger, Beast Morphers Yellow Ranger, the Dino Fury Green Ranger, and the Putrid from Wild Force. So we have 3 Rangers here and a villain, which is pretty cool. This overall isn't a wave I'm too excited about. Like, I'm not a big fan of Beast Morphers, so I don't really care too much about the yellow. And then I don't like really the designs of Dino Charge, so I don't really care much about the Blue Ranger either. So it's really just the Dino Fury and Putrid that I care about. And then the Dino Fury, I just don't like the green color they chose for her. So that's kind of annoying me. So the Rangers are all kind of annoying and are definitely on the lower end of characters I'd want. But the Putrid is really cool because I love Wild Force. So getting a character from Wild Force is always good. So the Putrid looks awesome there. So like I said, overall not the best wave in my opinion, but I'm still excited to be looking at more Power Ranger figures. And of course they're in the new plastic-free packaging. I think this is the first wave we're getting of them. And if we look at the Putrid, we can see the back of the box with the accessory and the figure and stuff. So I like how they have the figure and all the accessories laid out so you know what you're supposed to get. And then we have our plain colors on the side that kind of match whatever they chose. Or of course artwork on the front of the figure there, just a picture, and then some illustration there on the side that I always kind of like those illustrations. They did a good job on those. So like I said, overall not the most exciting thing, but it's another Power Ranger wave, so that makes it exciting anyway. So let me get them open out of the box and we'll take a look at them together. So let's start off with the Dino Charge Blue Ranger, who is Coda, and he was a caveman from 100,000 years ago that was the first to find an inner gem and fell into an ice-covered ocean while saving his younger brother from a saber-toothed tiger attack, and he was frozen until modern day where they unthawed him, and he became the Blue Dino Charge Ranger with the Stego Charger and controls the Stegozord. So he looks pretty cool here. Of course, looks just like all the others, body-wise and design-wise and stuff, just in blue this time, and of course this will finish off our Dino Charge team, which is cool. And overall he looks fine. Like I said, the Dino Charge isn't my favorite designs. I love the dinosaur season, so I enjoyed watching the show. I just hate the look of the Rangers, but it is cool to finally finish off another team here of Dino Charge, and overall looks pretty decent. So he's got the blue helmet with the Stegozord design, so the Stego plates up on top of his head with the red eyes, and then the mouth design for the visor, so that looks pretty decent. Then going down we have the blue outfit, so he's got the blue down the arms with like the dinosaur scales and the smoothness in the center, with the design in the middle there with the yellow and the jagged design with the Stegosaurus head there, so that's pretty cool. And the piece of shoulder armor there in silver with some red designs and spikes and stuff. White gloves down on the hands with some silver at the top, then the silver belt around the waist with the charge on it. Blue continuing down the legs to the blue boots with silver at the top of them as well. So overall looks pretty decent. Like I said, not my favorite design, so I'm just perfectly okay with it. Like, it's perfectly fine, nothing too bad. The figure itself isn't the best. Like, there is some wobbly at the waist, so he keeps wobbling back and forth here. That seems to be about the only issue we have with the figures today, because I've seen there's been a lot of issues and things like we don't have very much. But like I said, for especially this figure, he just is really weak at the hip, so he wobbles back and forth, which is quite annoying. But let's do the movement. So his head can twist all the way around, and he can look down and up. Yeah, very little, pretty much no movement at all in the neck, which is pretty weird. But it seems like the joint is just up in the helmet too far, so it doesn't rock or anything, so that stings. The shoulders can come up to 90 with the butterfly joint back and forth and rotate all the way around. We had a bicep twist, the double elbow joint that bends up that far, so just over 90. The wrist can twist around and flex back and forth. He has the upright crunch, so crunch forward, crunch back, so relatively decent crunching, and can twist all the way around there as well. And then we get the lower crunch down behind the belt, so you crunch even further forward and even further back there, so pretty decent. The hips can come up to 90, and then out to the side he can do the splits. And these newer ones kind of have like the drop down hips, so you gotta push them back up in there. The thigh twist can twist all the way around. Double knee joint that can bend up that far to the back, not far from kicking his butt. Shin twist at the top of the boot, and then the foot flexes back and forth and can twist side to side. So it has your pretty standard Lightning Collection movements, and we'll pretty much see the same things between all the figures today. So no major issues. Like I said, just that hip that's pretty annoying with how wobbly it is. But then we have accessories. So first we get Koda's unmasked head, played by Yoshi Sudarso, and overall looks decent. Like, I can tell that's Koda, especially with his longer hair. But once again, I don't think it's perfect, but it looks relatively decent, especially for him. Then we get some additional hands, so we get some grip hands to go along with our fist hands we already have. So of course we'll need these grips for the weapons. And speaking of weapons, first we get the Dino Charge Morpher. So of course their Morpher gun that they put the Energem in, spin the thing, and it transforms them. So it looks pretty cool. It looks relatively like all the others. Of course, most of them don't seem to really match. Like, this one just seems seems to be a solid yellow plastic with some black paint on it. Like some of them kind of look more of like a translucent yellow that's like a neon yellow color, and then some are just like they're painted over yellow. So just all the morphers with this team don't seem to match. But let's go and put the gun in his hand. So there's the Dino Charge Morpher, and then he also comes with the Dino Saber, so like a lot of the Rangers came with this as well. And now the sword looks more of like it's kind of like a little bit of translucent of that neon yellow color, but looks pretty cool overall. So let's put this in his other hand. So there's Koda with the sword, and then the sword also has a Hasbro effect. So we have this purple lightning effect that we can slide onto the sword. So there's the lightning on it, you know, having some sort of powers and stuff. But overall, that looks relatively decent. Like I said, definitely not my favorite design. Don't really care too much about the weapons and the way their outfit looks like. So definitely some of my least favorite Rangers just because of their outfit designs alone. But overall, it is cool, like I said, to finish off a team. So let's go and bring in the other Dino Charge Rangers. And there we have all 6 members of the Dino Charge team, which is really cool seeing them all together now. So our main 5 Rangers and our 6th Rangers. Overall, really cool, like I said, to finish off the team of Rangers. Always nice to have a full team. So really nice to have Koda thrown in here with the rest of them to finally finish off Dino Charge. And then we've got the Beast Morphers Yellow Ranger, which is probably my least favorite out of all the Power Ranger seasons outfit-wise. I just can't stand the look of these outfits with like the coats that they have on, mixed in with like the pants and stuff. I think the helmets are relatively cool because they have the animal design. So for her, she has the jackrabbit. So it has like the rabbit design on the head, but then the goggles on top just kind of make it look a little bit weirder, almost look like sunglasses there. But then, like I said, I just hate the like jacket design. So for her, she's the Yellow Ranger, so she has the all yellow. So she has the yellow with the silver. So that's one reason why I don't like it too, is the silver that they have. So like these yellow jackets with the straps that go over the shoulders, almost like backpack design, but these just have straps, and it has the Go Busters logo there as well as on the belt. And then, like I said, that helmet design, so it has the rabbit, so we have the 2 eyes, the little bunny rabbit nose, and then the ears of the rabbit going back, like I said, with those like goggles or sunglasses with the silver earpieces going there to the back. So don't like that too much. And then the silver of the mouth. Then of course that yellow jacket going down has the Beast X Morpher there on her arm, and then black pants that are mostly like the spandex but look a little bit baggy and have some details to them there, into the yellow boots with the black bands at the top of them. So like I said, just not my favorite design. Like I hate the Beast Morphers outfit so much, like, so I don't like any of the Rangers from this team. But the Yellow Ranger is Zoe Reeves, and she's a Grid Battle Force cadet that became the Yellow Ranger linked with the Jackrabbit DNA and controls the Chopper Zord. So let's do her movements. So her head can twist all the way around. She can look down that far and up that far. Again, very little movements, but more than Koda had. Shoulders up to 90 with the butterfly joint back and forth, and rotate all the way around. We get a bicep twist, the double elbow joint that can bend up that far, so pretty good, almost all the way up on itself. Wrist can twist around and flex up and down for this hand. She has the ab crunch under her chest, so crunch forward, crunch back, so nice crunching and twist all the way around. And it feels like, yeah, back behind the belt there's some cutouts there. She does have the lower waist crunch as well, so she can crunch back and forth there as well, so pretty good forward and back now. The hips can come up a little. It's hard because of the skirting piece, but can come up if you force it to 90 and out to the side. Once again, can do the splits. Those drop down hips, so you got to push them back up in there. Thigh twist all the way around. Double knee joint that bends up that far to the back. A shin twist at the top of the boot, and then the foot flexes back and forth and twists side to side. So pretty decent movement, nothing really wrong with her. She doesn't have nearly the waist issues that Koda had, and overall functions pretty well. And it's nice, you know, with the new pinless bodies, so she has the double elbows and knee joints, and all that sort of works out pretty good for her and gives her pretty good range of movements. But for accessories, first we get the unmasked head of Zoe, played by Jacqueline Soslowski, and overall looks pretty decent. Like, once again, not the best head design. I like her hair design though. They did a really good job with the hair, and then the face, like I said, just overall relatively looks decent. It's not horrible, but definitely not spot on for her. She comes with some hands, so she has 2 grip hands, so we get a fist and then a flat palm hand. And for weapons, we get the Beast X Saber, so like the other ones we've had, so looks pretty decent there for the saber design. So let's put this in her hand. So there's the Beast X Saber, and then it has the Hasbro effect of this blue flowing effect that looks pretty cool. I always like this design on the sword, so let's try and put this on. So there's the sword all powered up with the effect, and I think that looks pretty cool. It's kind of hard to get on the sword just because the sword design, like, it's so broad, so it doesn't really fit perfectly onto it, but I think it looks pretty decent overall. And so now with Zoe, it adds another figure to our Beast Morphers line, so let's go and bring in the other Beast Morphers. And there's the rest of our Beast Morphers Rangers. So we have at least our main 3 trio finished out now, then of course our Gold Ranger, and our 1 bad guy that we have. So we're almost done with Beast Morphers now, but pretty cool to at least have our main trio of the Red, Blue, and Yellow Ranger, because I feel those are the most important, so cool to have those 3. So pretty awesome that I had Yellow Ranger here with our Beast Morpher line. Then we have our last Ranger of the wave today, the Dino Fury Green Ranger, who is Izzy Garcia, and she's a competitive athlete, and when her stepbrother Javi had taken a Nephrite orb that the monsters were after, he decided to destroy it, and in doing so revealed the Stego and Tiger Dino keys, so Izzy got the Tiger key and morphed into the Green Ranger. And then of course classically when she turned into the Green Ranger it had the skirt and she immediately tore the skirt off so she'd have more room, and so overall she looks pretty cool here. Like I said, I like the Dino Fury design. I just hate, especially for this one, the color they chose. Like it's like a mint green color, so like a lighter green. It looks much lighter in the camera than it is in real life, but it's still like a lighter green color, like has more white into it. I'd wish it was more like a brighter green or something that would look much cooler, but it has the Dino Fury design. So the helmet have like night inspired stuff, so it's got more like that night helmet design, so around the visor and stuff, but it's the tiger, so it's like the saber-tooth tiger, so it has the tiger design with the little ears and the eyes there on each side, and sort of like the tiger fangs and stuff, so that's pretty cool. Then going down the body, it has this black like zigzag design down with silver on the left side and green on the right and all the way down the legs, so the silver there is nice shiny silver. We have the Dino Fury Morpher there on her wrist, and of course a nice belt around the waist with the design that looks like a little cracked egg design with the sheath to hold their swords, and on each arm they have some gold at the top of their wristbands. Green continues down the legs to the boots where they're all green as well, and then have some silver designs on them just like the wristband. So overall she looks relatively decent. I know this is another figure that's had a lot of issues. This one doesn't really have any issues or anything, so we're lucky in that aspect, but overall she looks relatively decent. Like I said, I just wish they chose a different green color. But let's do the movement. So her head can twist all the way around, and then she can look down and up. Yeah, very little movement once again, so just a little bit of rocking back and forth. And she does have the double neck, so of course up in the helmet where all the movement was, but then the neck does also twist around there right when it connects to the body, so all it does is twist there. The shoulders can come up to 90, and it has the butterfly joint back and forth and rotate all the way around. We get a bicep twist, the double elbow joint that bends pretty much all the way up on itself, and the wrist can twist around and flex back and forth. Ab crunch right under the chest, so crunch back and forth and twist all the way around, and then she has the lower crunch kind of hidden back here behind the belt, so crunch back and forth there as well, so good with both of those. The hips can come up to 90 and out to the side. She can do the splits again, drop down hips, gotta push back up, thigh twist all the way around, double knee joint that bends up that far to the back, so can't get further because of the boot piece. Shin twist there at the top of the boot, and the foot flexes back and forth and can twist side to side. So once again, pretty decent movements, like I said, especially with those pinless joints and everything, so no major issues with her. Now accessory wise, first we get the unmasked head of Izzy, which is Tessa Rao, and overall looks relatively decent. Like I don't really overall like this design, don't think it looks too much like her, but once again I think the hair design's decent. It's just the face design, the eyebrows seem way too big and everything, but overall not a horrible head. Then she comes with additional hands, so she has two just like open hands. Well, she gets two grip hands, so one in the green and one in the silver to match, and with the grip hands we can give her the Chroma Fury saber, so it looks like they're just normal sword just like the Red Ranger had, so the nice silver blade with like the spikes on the back of it, the dinosaur head, and of course the little handle piece that they can like chomp the head and stuff, which is pretty cool. So overall looks pretty awesome. So of course we can stick this in the holster. It is pretty difficult to get in and out, just the plastics with each other don't function too well, so it's pretty stuck in there and you have to work it in through, so you can just have it stored there. But let's go and just put it into her right hand. So there's a Chroma Fury saber in hand, and I went ahead and set it up to do like the chomping bit because I always like that, and then it also comes with a lightning effect for it, so we can slide this onto the sword. So with those spikes on the back, it is pretty difficult to get it on there, so I was only able to get it about that far, which looks pretty cool. But overall it's awesome to have the Green Ranger here, and of course we can go and bring in Zato for her. So there we have the Red and Green Ranger now from Dino Fury together. Of course need to now finish out more of the team, so awesome to have Izzy now go with Zato there for Dino Fury. And our final figure of the wave is the Wild Force Putrid, which Putrids are just foot soldiers controlled by Master Org that would rise from a pink slime to fight the Rangers. And overall looks pretty cool, so it's much like a putty, so just like those small grunt soldiers, and much like the putty, it's got pretty much an all gray body and pretty basic body at that. But overall it looks pretty good and functions. This is by far, at least to me, the best figure of the wave because it's one I care most about with being from Wild Force since it's my favorite season. And then also like figure wise seems to be relatively the best like that I've seen from everyone posted online and my experience with the figure itself. So overall really cool to have the Putrid here. It would be nice if it was a more well-known character or another Ranger from Wild Force, but getting a Putrid is cool as well. So overall it looks pretty awesome. So like I said, mostly all gray body, but it has the head design, so it has the horn, so much like all the orgs and monsters from Wild Force, they have the horn coming out of their head, and then the nice metallic purple for the eyes and mouth and back of the head there, so that's pretty cool with some gold coming out around it as well as the horn. Then the basic body that has like this red stripe stripes going through it, nice like circles there on the arms, but then some wavy red lines just going all throughout the body. Black belt around the waist with some of that metallic purple and gold bands around the arms and ankles there, and then just gray everywhere else. Ooh, and some nice red. I didn't notice the belt was red there on the back, so that's pretty cool as well. So pretty nice design, like I said, pretty basic and not much to it, but overall it looks relatively nice. So let's do its movement. So head twist all the way around, and it can look down that far and up that far. So definitely the best head movement from the figures today. And then it does have the neck joint there as well that I assume twists around. Yeah, it's kind of stiff, but you can twist it around. The shoulders can come up to 90 with the butterfly joint back and forth and rotate all the way around. We get a bicep twist, the double elbow that bends all the way up on itself, so that's good. Wrist twist around and flex back and forth. Upper ab crunch, so crunch back and forth and twist all the way around. Then the lower ab crunch, keep further forward and further back there, so really good. Hips can come up to 90 and out to the side. He can do the splits as well. Again, we drop down hips, got to push up. Thigh twist all the way around. Double knee joint that bends up that far, almost kicking his butt. Low ankle twist, so just above the gold band, it twists around there, and then the foot flexes back and forth and twists side to side. So overall, it's really good movements, like no major issues or anything, no impediments, so has like the best movements of all the figures so far today. So like I said, probably the best figure from this wave, just figure wise itself, and then overall I do really like the look of it. Now accessory wise, no heads or anything, because obviously they don't have any unmasked heads, but he's got a grip hand and a flat palm hand that we can switch out. So then with the flat open hand, we can put it up on the head. I don't know why they do that, but just in the show they would always put their hands up on top of their head, which is kind of weird, like patting their head. Can't really get it. No, I have to mess around with it a little bit to get it to sit perfectly on its head, but it can just put a sit on its head like that, which is pretty funny. Like I said, don't know why they did it, but it was pretty funny that they did that in the show, so you can do it with the figure as well. And for weapons, he comes with a club, so this big awesome club, mostly all gray once again, but has some silver around here with the spikes. I don't like the end of it, looks like it's falling apart or something, but it looks pretty cool overall with the nice hand guard and stuff, and looks pretty dangerous and everything. So let's put this in his grip hand. So there's the Putrid with the club, and then the club has an effect, so we have this purple lightning effect that we can slide onto. I don't really know exactly how it goes on or where you stick it on at, but I think you just kind of stick it on the end of it here just like that, so it has this effect because the club can fire out a blast of energy, so I assume that's what that's supposed to be. So it has that, but it's really big and obtrusive, so I definitely don't want that on him. But now that we have the Putrid, we can add it in with our only other Wild Force figure, which is the Wild Force Blue Ranger, so we can have the Putrid and the Blue Ranger now facing off there, so that is pretty cool to add the Putrid in now. Of course, need just a whole bunch of the army build to have them face off with our Wild Force Rangers, but pretty cool to have the Putrid to add to our collection, especially for Wild Force. Well, that is going to be it for our Power Rangers Lightning Collection Wave 13 figures, where we have the Dino Charge Blue Ranger, Beast Morphers Yellow Ranger, Dino Fury Green Ranger, and the Wild Force Putrid. All of them are pretty decent. It's kind of cool to get the Dino Charge and Beast Morphers, so, more round out the teams, finish off Dino Charge and almost complete Beast Morphers, and then getting another Dino Fury is cool to add with Zato, as well as the Putrid to add with our Wild Force. So pretty cool to have all these figures. Like I said, I definitely don't like the first two here, but do prefer more of the second two, so it's kind of like a split even wave. But let me know what you thought of these Rangers down in the comments, and if you enjoyed my review, let me know with a thumbs up. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.